My name is Lara Bloom and I am the International Executive Director of the Ehlers-danlos Society, which is an organisation looking after people living with Ehlers-danlos syndromes and related disorders. Ehlers-danlos syndrome is a genetic connective tissue condition. There are 13 different forms and we know the genetic cause for 12 of them, and we still don't know what the genetic causation is for the most prevalent type, which is the hypermobile form. EDS is a multi-systemic condition that affects various different systems in the body, causes dislocations, subluxations, chronic pain, chronic fatigue. Diagnosis is really important to people living with a chronic and often rare disease. It's something that is still taking far too long. The average length to diagnosis in EDS, for example, is around 12 years. People are just being bounced from different doctors, not being believed, not being understood, being accused of being hypochondriacs, when really they're living with a very real physical condition. So I think we really want to focus on improving time to diagnosis, but also once people are diagnosed, that they're not just thrown back to their local services and abandoned with no care and management. So it needs to be a two-pronged effort to early diagnosis and local management and care. Patient centricity is, for me, what it means is to be part of the process in all elements. So often patients are consulted at the end of a process. They weren't really educated, trained, funded to be part of those things. It was more of a, we have to tick this box, really, than turning to patients to really take in and concentrate on what they need and what they want and what is important for the patient. I think it's essential to include the patient narrative in any decision making. Without that, you lose the purpose of why and what is this for. So for me, having the patient in the centre of decision making will make everything a much smoother process and will long-term benefit, I think, everyone involved. It's never actually been a better time to be a patient advocate and expert. There are a lot more opportunities, especially coming from the IMI, and I think it's things like PatientCentric, the toolkit that's out there for patients to use, the training that's out there, and being taken seriously around the table as an equal stakeholder. It's definitely getting better. I've been doing this now for over 8 years, and at the beginning there just wasn't this opportunity. But it's still not as seamless as it should be. It's not as consistent as it should be everywhere, but it's definitely getting better. But as always with most things, there's more to do. My message to the industry would be to involve the patient as early on as possible for the duration of the process, and also to involve patient organisations, because often they are the bridge to the community. They're going to get you the right patients involved in trials, but also not just the actual trial, but the decision making that goes into the trial and everything that goes along with each step of it. I think that's kind of what I was saying, that too often the patient have been contacted just to take part in a trial, but an organisation or the patient hasn't been spoken to about the process to lead them to that point. And I think that's what's essential. It's the beginning, it's the middle, and it's the end. And that is what really, that's what I would say to the pharmaceutical industry. Hear the patients, involve the patients, and include the patients. And I think everything that comes out of that will be beneficial.